Welcome to Original Sin, the complete story. There is a character in the Marvel Universe whose sole purpose is to watch and document everything that is happening to the Earth 616 characters. He's seen everything, our successes, our failures, and even our sins. He is the unseen, and someone has now shot him in the head and removed his eyes. Our heroes were summoned to this spot by a rather large explosion, and they 100% planned to figure out who did this. But Nick Fury warns, this may be a friend. We need to be careful. Well, a long investigation begins and everybody's involved. Everyone wants to know who killed the Watcher, who even knew he existed. Eventually, a minion known as a Mindless One gets into a fight with Spider-Man and the Thing. They quickly realize that the Mindless One isn't exactly the Mindless One anymore, and they let Captain America and Nick Fury know. This Mindless One seems to have the ability of telepathy, and it seems to know a lot more of what's going on. After a little investigation, they realize that the Mindless Ones have been altered by one of the Watcher's eyes. They track down the rest of these altered Mindless Ones to a building where the Orb and Dr. Midas are keeping one of the Watcher's eyes, and they completely surround it with every superhero that they can. Meanwhile, the Punisher and Doctor Strange seem to have found a crap ton of giant interdimensional monsters. They're only in this location because of information that Black Panther has been supplying from a source that he's not revealing. All of these creatures appear to be dead by what appears to be the same killer killed by the Watcher. Back with the rest of the heroes, after one heck of a fight, the Orb walks out and he explains, this isn't an eye, this is a bomb, and bombs go boom! This isn't a normal bomb of destruction though. This is a bomb filled with all of the Watcher's secrets that he has ever seen, and the secrets go everywhere. Thor finds out that he has a sister. Spider-Man learns that somebody else was bitten by the spider that bit him. Hulk learns that it's Tony Stark's fault that he's the Hulk. And Deadpool's friends discover that his daughter is actually alive and kept away from him. And Deathlock's identity's been revealed again. And Lockjaw remembers where he buried his bone. Half of the superheroes take off to figure out what they just saw, and Nick Fury pulls a gun out on the Orb and he says, "You're under arrest for the murder of the Watcher." But the Orb just gives up, and he says he'd like to know who did it also, because it sure wasn't him. Now with the Orb captured, the Avengers continue their investigations as to who actually killed the Watcher, because the Orb continues to say that he only took his eye, but him and Dr. Midas didn't finish the job on the Watcher. Up in space, Bucky, Moon Knight, and Gamora make a shocking discovery. Whoever's been making all of these kills killed a planet. Bucky puts two and two together and he realizes that there's only one person that he can think of that would be able to pull off a job like this. And he strands Gamora and Moon Knight on the planet, leaving them there while he goes to kill this person. Bucky warps himself to a satellite, and a rather particular one with Nick Fury sitting in it, and he cuts off Nick Fury's head. No more secrets. Meanwhile, with Doctor Strange and the Punisher, Doctor Strange realizes that they've all been sent to where they need to be to pick up the leads on this investigation. Somebody knew about the dead interdimensional aliens. Somebody knew about the Mindless Ones evolving in the Orb. Somebody knew about the dead planets and the space beings. Whoever's been killing these, and therefore killed the Watcher, is their informant. Back with Bucky, he's currently traveling around space tracing something, or somebody, and he's bringing the head of Nick Fury and the Watcher's eye that Nick Fury took from the Orb with him. 3 groups of Avengers have been investigating what's going on, and they converge on the satellite where Nick Fury's been killed. It's time to figure out what's going on. But first, with everyone confused in general, they have a bit of a fight with Bucky, since, well, he killed Nick Fury and he's using Nick Fury's head as a weapon. But after Gamora sticks her sword into it, they realize that this isn't Nick Fury. Bucky explains that it's actually the most advanced life model decoy that he's ever seen. Well, now everybody's confused, and they stop fighting to figure out what's going on. Why is Nick Fury an LMD? Why are the 3 groups of Avengers sent all over looking for different leads? What are the secrets that everyone learned when the eyeball exploded? These are the questions that we need to answer. And just then, an elderly Nick Fury steps into the room, and he explains. Back in 1958, Nick Fury was going to die to a bunch of invading aliens, but there was a hero who arrived that he had never seen before, and this hero decimated the aliens, but not before they got him too. Howard Stark then ran over, and shocked to see this hero dead, Colonel Fury wanted his answers. You see, the man who just died was McCord, and he was the man on the wall. The wall is the wall between us and annihilation. Nick Fury became the new man of the wall that day. He still worked for the CIA and did his secret agent things, but anytime that we had a super alien threat or an interdimensional threat, he was the man to step up. and he didn't trust anybody else. So when the job got potentially larger than he wanted it to be, he only trusted himself, and he made multiple life model decoys of himself. And his goal was to stop everything before it ever got to Earth. So the only stuff that we ever saw at Earth is the stuff that Nick Fury couldn't stop. Well, this work continued past the death of Howard Stark and past the death of everyone who knew what he did. But there were just so many things that the heroes couldn't do. They needed this unknown, the unnamed, the unseen man to do it for them. And he explains this to all of the superheroes, leaving them in shock that this has been going on this whole time and nobody knew about it. But there's still so many unanswered questions, and the biggest one is still, Nick Fury, who killed the Watcher? Well, he continues and he explains that he is dying. The Infinity Serum in his bloodstream has run out, and every morning that he's been waking up, he looks a little bit older. And with him dying, he explains that someone here needs to become the new man on the wall. Someone needs to take his place. But that doesn't matter. Black Panther asks again, who killed the Watcher? Meanwhile, the body of the LMD that Bucky cut the head off explodes, alerting Cap and the Avengers in the tower to where Nick Fury is right now. No more time to waste. They need to hurry this along, and Nick Fury says he's gonna save the world one last time using the eyeball that Bucky still had. All of the heroes up in the satellite begin to fight off Nick Fury's LMDs, and he walks away. It's time to finish this job now. He walks into a room where the orb is being held captive, and he tries to open the last eye to get to the secrets, but he can't figure out how. And it's just then that the rest of the Avengers arrive. Nick pulls out the second eye, and it is him who had the second eye the whole time. It's time for him to end this. Since he's Nick Fury, he knows exactly how to handle everybody. He removes Hulk from the fight right away by using a special gun, and then he begins to systematically remove each superhero. But it's Captain America who truly tangles with Nick Fury. They were allies, comrades, friends. Why is Nick Fury seemingly gone insane and is attacking everybody with the Watcher's eyes? Cutting back to the inside of the satellite, everybody's trying to decide what they should do with the information that Nick Fury just gave them. Help the Avengers take him down? Or something else. Just then, the orb walks out and he's glowing, knowing all of the secrets are his. His exposure to the eye has changed him and he knows everything. But there's one final Watcher secret that he needs to get to. Nick Fury continues his battle with the Avengers, whispering the sin that he knows about Thor, making Thor drop his hammer on the moon and become unworthy to pick it up once again. He then speaks Tony's override code, sending the armor back to Earth so that Iron Man is out of the fight. So many things that he knows and he needs to take with him. Nick Fury, the Orb, and various members of the Avengers all get themselves to the moon to finally end this. Up above all of this though, the Watchers are finally getting involved. This is getting out of hand. Let's travel back to when Nick Fury first arrived on the moon to save the Watcher. You see, this whole thing started because the Watcher let himself get robbed. Dr. Midas and the Orb, they took one of the Watcher's eyes, and they were going through the Watcher's armory. And Nick Fury arrived and just wants to know what's going on. He knows the Watcher sees everything, and he knows the Watcher knows where the villains are. And the Watcher responds, "Yes, you're right, Nick Fury. I see everything, even the unseen." And then he shows him that he's seen all of the death and destruction that Nick Fury has committed in the name of saving the Earth. Back in our current timeline, Nick Fury fights off Dr. Midas and the Mindless Ones once again, just like he did when they first tried to rob the Watcher. They have all returned to get to the Watcher's armory now that nobody's really watching this place anymore, and Nick Fury is going to stop them. He will not lose the Earth to Dr. Midas. Who is Dr. Midas anyway? Nick Fury just can't let them win, and he gets into a fight with the Orb, and the Orb exclaims, "The eye showed me your secret, Fury," and Fury exclaims that it's the Orb's fault that the Watcher's dead. "You started this, Orb." And the Mindless Ones then jump on Nick Fury, beating him to death, and it takes the Avengers who arrive to stop this. But they aren't here to save Nick Fury. They're here to bring Nick Fury in, and say it, Nick Fury, say what you did! And he replies, "I did it. I killed the Watcher." Flashback to when Nick Fury showed up to catch Dr. Midas and the Orb and the rest of the Mindless Ones. He just wanted the Watcher to tell him who did it so he could save the Earth again. But the Watcher kept his mouth shut. The Watcher simply said, "It is time for somebody else to watch." And he raised his hands against Nick Fury. In a sign of self-defense, Nick Fury was forced to shoot the Watcher in the head. And then he couldn't help himself. He took the other eye, and he saw everything. With the heroes occupied, Nick Fury takes the eye and he walks into the Watcher's tower. There's still a villain to stop, and Nick Fury needs to save the world. That's his one purpose, his job, everything he did to save the Earth, and he won't stop now. He will use this eyeball, and he will end this whole thing right now. Meanwhile, the orb with the other eyeball has become the target of the Watchers that nobody else can see. And they watch as the Watcher's eyeball begins to fuse itself into the orb, giving him everything, all of the secrets, all of the knowledge. You just don't mess with a race as old as the Watchers. These eyeballs hold so much power, and Nick Fury also knows this. So he jams the eyeball into Dr. Midas's body, forcing another eyeball explosion. The entire tower explodes, taking Nick Fury and Dr. Midas and the Watcher's body and the entire armory with it. And that's it. The secrets of the Watcher died in the tower that day. Captain America confirms Nick Fury is dead, and the orb is missing, and Captain America just wants to know, why did Nick Fury seemingly go insane in the end? The only individuals, the ones that Nick told his story to, they aren't talking, because there's a level of distrust amongst all of our superheroes now. No one can trust anybody with so many secrets spilled out. The orb is seemingly wandering the world, just watching everybody with his new second eye. And Bucky has become the new man on the wall, keeping Earth safe. And Nick Fury, well, he might not be as dead as you think. For now, he's trapped on the moon to remain unseen and chained there for all of eternity as far as we know. Where is this gonna lead? There's so many tie-ins that I'm gonna cover for Original Sin, but where can this possibly go? So much has changed for the Marvel Universe, so I wanna know your opinions. What do you think this is gonna lead to? Do you think it's gonna go directly into Axis, or do you think this is gonna lead to something totally different? And for that, I'm Benny for Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys next time right here, the Comicstorian channel.